The Curse of La Bruja de la Llorona. Long ago, in a small village nestled deep in the mountains of Mexico, there lived a mysterious woman named Doña Isabela. She was known far and wide as La Bruja de la Llorona. Her beauty was as striking as her power was terrifying. Doña Isabela had a gift for curing illnesses, finding lost objects, and predicting the future. Villagers often sought her help, leaving offerings of maize, candles, and coins at her doorstep. But they also whispered dark tales about her behind her back. Stories of curses, spells, and strange disappearances. One moonless night, a young man named Mateo arrived in the village. He was a traveler, a trader of rare goods, and he carried with him a peculiar artifact, a golden locket said to bring eternal love to its owner. Doña Isabela immediately took an interest in Mateo, not for his charm, but for the locket. Legends claimed the locket was forged by ancient witches and had the power to bind souls together forever. Doña Isabela invited Mateo to her home under the guise of hospitality. She served him hot chocolate spiced with cinnamon, a delicacy he couldn't refuse. While they spoke, she subtly tried to enchant him, weaving words of seduction and magic. Mateo, however, was no ordinary man. He carried talismans and prayers to protect himself from witches. When Doña Isabela reached for his locket, he pulled away, his eyes sharp with suspicion. "I know what you are, Doña Isabela," Mateo said, his voice steady, "and I know what you want, but this locket is not for you." Her facade cracked, and her eyes burned with an unnatural light. "You dare deny me?" she hissed, her voice reverberating through the room. "Then you shall know my wrath." That night, as Mateo lay in his rented room at the village inn, a cold wind swept through the village. He woke to the sound of faint weeping outside his window. "Mateo," a voice whispered, "Mateo, let me in." He peered out, but the street was empty. The voice grew louder, more insistent, and suddenly the figure of a woman appeared, draped in white, her face hidden by her long, wet hair. It was La Llorona, the infamous ghost who drowned her children and wandered the earth, weeping for their souls. But this was no ordinary ghost. It was Doña Isabela, using the form of La Llorona to torment him. Mateo grabbed his talismans and recited prayers under his breath. The apparition shrieked, her voice piercing the night like a blade. She vanished into the shadows, but Mateo knew she was not gone. Doña Isabela would not rest until she had the locket. The next day, Mateo sought help from the village elder, Don Esteban. The old man listened to Mateo's tale and nodded gravely. "Doña Isabela's power comes from her pact with the spirits of the river," he explained. "You must go to the river at midnight and offer the locket as a sacrifice. Only then will her curse be broken." That night, Mateo walked to the riverbank, the locket in hand. The air was thick with tension, and the moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the water. As he approached, the weeping began again. La Llorona appeared, her form shifting between Doña Isabela's face and the ghostly visage of the drowned mother. "Give me the locket," she demanded, her voice echoing with unnatural power. Mateo hesitated, remembering the legend of the locket's eternal love. But he knew the cost of keeping it was too great. He held it high and cast it into the river. The water churned violently, and La Llorona let out a deafening scream before vanishing into the depths. The village was quiet the next morning. Doña Isabela's home was empty, her belongings scattered as if she had left in a hurry. No one saw her again, but the villagers believed her spirit was trapped in the river, bound by the very curse she had tried to inflict. As for Mateo, he left the village a wiser man. The locket's power was lost, but he carried with him a new understanding of the dangers of greed and the mysteries of the unseen world. The villagers told his story for generations, a cautionary tale about the price of crossing paths with La Bruja de la Llorona.